So the first thing I need in my bowl is 2 cups of sugar. Don't worry, there's carrots in it, so it's a vegetable, so we're fine. I like to do a mixture of white sugar and brown sugar, so I'm doing 1 cup of white sugar, and then 1 cup of brown sugar. Any sort of brown sugar you have. If you have light brown sugar, that works. If you have dark brown sugar, that'll be good too. It'll just have a bit more of that molassesy flavor, which I personally love. But the mixture of these two is gonna give really nice texture. The white sugar is gonna give you almost a kind of like crisp on the top of that little bit of texture on the cake. The brown sugar is gonna give that kind of molassesy, sticky toffee puddingy vibe, which I love so much. All right, now into there, I'm going in with my fat. Now, as opposed to doing a butter-based cake like I would for like a vanilla, I actually like using oil for my carrot cake. It keeps it super moist. It also makes it so it rises really evenly, and you don't have to cream everything together in the way that you normally would with a butter-based cake. So I need 1 cup of oil. This is a dense, moist, delicious cake that I think would last, don't quote me on this, 82 years on your counter, because it's really good. All right, I'm going in with that cup of oil. And then into there, I'm going in with my eggs. Now, if I was doing a butter-based cake, what I would want to do is I would actually want to blend this together and do what's called creaming. Creaming doesn't actually involve cream. It's basically whipping air into that fat and sugar mixture. But since I'm using oil, you can't really whip air into it. So I'm just going to dump everything on into the pool. So the next ingredient I'm going in with is my eggs. So I need 4 eggs in there. That's going to give a little bit of lift, little bit of browning power. It's also going to just bring everything together beautifully. I keep bragging like I could do a one-handed egg crack, but like sometimes I can and sometimes, nailed it, okay, cool. When there are literal professional bakers around, I'm very nervous about this. I did one in front of Anna Olson, it did not go well. So, you know, hubris and all. All right, now into there, I'm gonna go in with some flavors. This is a classic kind of cake starter, but I wanna build more deliciousness into here. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of orange zest. I love carrots and orange together, and it gives such good flavor. Now, you can go anywhere from 1 to 2 oranges, but I actually like to zest it right on into the bowl, because when you zest an orange, if you were to get like a microscope out or something or look really, really close, a lot of the oil actually kind of sprays out as you're zesting. So by doing it over the bowl, that's gonna get all of that flavor right on into here. Now, if you want kind of like a hint of orange, 1 orange is perfect. If you want a super orange cake, toss in a 2nd orange zested. That's gonna give you delicious, delicious bright oranginess. That's looking great. And then in there, oh, vanilla. We need the classic. About 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. That's gonna bring a nice kind of round, kind of musty sweetness into there in a really good way. Now, whisking, pop it in. This is the only tricky part, is getting that sugar and that egg mixed together. And this is all you need to do. Just mix it until it comes together. You don't have to worry about making it light and fluffy or anything. You're just looking for a beautiful, smooth texture, just like that. Now, we're gonna move on to our dry ingredients. So I've got in this bowl over here, I've got 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. I've also got 2 teaspoons each of baking powder and baking soda. Now, this is a dense, heavy cake because we're gonna put those carrots in there. So you do need a good amount of that chemical leavener. It's gonna give it that little bit of a lift and make it light and fluffy. I've also got ½ teaspoon of salt in there. This is where you get to add your spices. I like a really spiced carrot cake because I feel like then it's a mixture of spice cake, carrot cake, kind of sticky toffee pudding, all the things you want in one cake. The first thing I want is a whole tablespoon of cinnamon, which sounds like a lot of cinnamon. But I like it. If you want less, feel free, pull back. But a tablespoon gives you really, really good flavor. Pop that on in. Then I'm going in with about ½ teaspoon of cloves, just ground cloves. You could also do a ¼ teaspoon if this is a bit too punchy, but orange, cloves, carrots, all goes so, so well together. So about a ¼ teaspoon of that. Then I need a little bit of my very favorite spice. Does anybody know what that is? Nutmeg, thank you so much. And did you know that this pocket in jeans is specifically for nutmeg? Because it's the only thing that will fit in there. So I want to pop in about anywhere from a ¼ to a ½ teaspoon. And typically 1 nutmeg is about a teaspoon's worth. So just grate in about a ¼ to a ½ of a whole nutmeg right on into there. Fresh nutmeg gives you a really nice lemony flavor. If you don't have fresh, you could totally use powdered or dried or ground. That would work perfectly as well. So I'm just going to whisk that together. And I always like adding my spices in before I whisk because that's going to make sure I can see when everything is nice and incorporated. So all that baking powder and baking soda is getting mixed in at the same time. Perfect. Now all I need to do is dump this dry ingredients right on into the wet. This is the thing I love about these cakes. They come together so easily. You don't have to fuss with back and forth or anything like that. I'm gonna give this a little bit of a mix just to start it going. This is a really, really dense, moist cake. It's super tasty. So just give it a good mix until we almost are starting to see not too much flour. And then we're gonna add in our mix-ins. So obviously, we need some carrots. So I've got 3 cups of grated carrots here. Now you do have to grate these on a box grater or on a food processor. Don't buy the pre-grated carrots because they're almost more like a matchstick. And then you're really gonna be able to tell that there are carrots in this cake. And the whole point of carrot cake is you don't really tell that there's carrots in there. It's more about everything else. So I pop that in. Then I'm gonna go in with some walnuts or pecans. I've got about a cup of walnuts here that I'm just popping in. Then this is a little divisive, but I love it. I'm going in with some chopped pineapple. Yes. Okay, thank you so much. It gives so much texture, it gives so much moisture. I actually like using canned pineapple as well. Really brings everything together beautifully. Then you just wanna mix that together until it comes into a beautiful, kind of smooth, even batter, where everything's nice and distributed. See, it's a pretty kind of thick situation going on, but that's exactly what we're looking for. This does a really nice cupcake or muffin as well. Once that's all mixed together, what you wanna do is divide that into some baking pans. I've got a couple over here. I'm just gonna talk about them though. I've got them greased with a little bit of nonstick cooking spray and then lined with a round of parchment. That's gonna make them really easy to come out. Divide that batter in, pop that into a 350-degree oven for 40 to 50 minutes. There's a lot of moisture in there. You need to cook it for a good long time. While you're baking those cakes though, it's time to do your cream cheese frosting, which I'm very excited about. Yeah. So I have a little bit of a trick when I'm doing cream cheese frosting. I like to actually beat the cream cheese beforehand and I add it in at the end. So I've got 2 cups of beaten cream cheese here, brick style. There's a lot of moisture in there. If I were to mix this in with that icing sugar right now, it gets really sloppy and it's really hard to work with. So by making almost an American buttercream with 1.5 cups of butter and about 5 cups of that powdered sugar, then, yes, it's sugary, don't worry. Then adding that cream cheese, you're gonna get a beautiful texture. But I do like to season it up a little with some vanilla. And then also just to hint that this is a little bit of a different cake that's got some of those spices in there. We're going in with a little bit of cinnamon. I just like the way it looks. I like the taste. Clearly, I put a tablespoon in the cake. If you want less, if you don't want that, feel free to leave it out. But it'd also be really nice, again, with nutmeg if you want to. Kind of tastes like a donut. Give that a little bit of a mix together, just to combine. And once you add that cream cheese, you don't want to overmix this. If you overmix it, it starts to get really soupy, and you don't want that. So this to me is looking absolutely beautiful. It's creamy, it's thick, and it looks like a delight. Like, look, that's what you're looking for when it comes to cream cheese frosting. All right. That looks like a dream to me. But now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna decorate this. Now, when I'm making a carrot cake, the thing I love the most about carrot cake is rarely do you see like a stunner of a carrot cake. They always just look like something that you want to dig into, something that, I don't know, your mom or you can make, or your dad, or something like that. It's absolutely beautiful. If we can get the cream cheese frosting off the mixer. There you go. So I'm gonna grab those cakes that are cooled fully to room temperature. Another thing with any sort of buttercream is you do not want to put it onto a warm cake. That's gonna melt and slop everywhere, not what you're looking for. Or if you did want that, just do a single layer and that'll work. So what I'm gonna do is pop one little round of my cake down, and then I'm just gonna grab some of that beautiful cream cheese frosting we've got here. Now, it's got a really nice consistency. This is so thick you could actually pipe it if you want to, which is a dream. But I'm just gonna pop that right on top. And when I'm making a carrot cake, I actually like to kind of do it with naked edges. Like, I don't like icing the outside because I like seeing all of that deliciousness on the inside. You see those specks of carrot, that little bit of that pineapple in there. I'm gonna pop the other round right on top. Now, if you want to see professional cake decorating, look upstairs, where those wonderful ladies are doing theirs. This is not that, but this is a really good whatever day of the week cake. Now, I really like to go kind of heavy on the top with my cream cheese frosting. Always put more on than you think, because you can always take it away. So give that a good little spread. Looking absolutely beautiful. And this is the hard part. Don't overspread it, because then it starts looking too fussy. You just want it to look a little messy, a little delicious. And then what I like to do, just to hint that there's some nuts going on in there, little scattering of some of those walnuts all the way around. And that to me looks like the perfect carrot cake. Now, I just found out today that my friend Jay, who's the audience coordinator here, is obsessed with carrot cake. So what do we say we get him out here to give this a taste? Is this the cake you request on your birthday, or is this just like an everyday cake for you?
I would have this every day. Okay. I see it in the coffee shop.
Yes.
I'm a tea drinker.
Oh, yeah.
But what happens with me is I'll end up eating the... Oh.
Look at
I end up eating the cake before I drink my tea because I can't wait for. I just want it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you put that extra dollop on top.
Oh,
'Cause
yes.
I love the cream cheese.
I was gonna say, I think it's the cream cheese frosting, but like, look at the texture going on in there, and Jay's gonna take a bite.
And there's pineapple. I've never had it with pineapple.
It's good,
in it,
it's good.
so,
You're gonna
yeah.
like it, I think.
Oh.
What do we think? Yeah? Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.